What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Chrissy Samurai 71 here bringing another video. Just recently, as some people would probably already know, they just revealed another trailer for Pokemon Sun and Moon, revealing 7 new Pokemon. As many people know, there's already confirmation of about 17 or there's already confirmation about 10 or 11 or so, and now we have another 7, so bringing it to about 17 or 18 or something like that. If you include Magiarna, if you don't include Magiarna, then it's 17. If you do, then it's 18 new Pokemon that are currently confirmed for this generation so far. Not bad so far, right? So the Pokemon that were shown off, for starters, the first one was Tapu Koko, which was a Pokemon that was talked about in the E3 Nintendo Treehouse gameplay that was shown off, where it was mentioned of the guardian of the of the island being called Tapu Koko, Tapu Koko, and the theory is that potentially there might be, for each island in the game, its own guardian, which in this case Tapu Koko would be the starting island's Pokemon. Does that mean it's a legendary? Not necessarily. It could. Most people are associating it with something along the lines of Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf in that way, which is fine. As far as things that were noteworthy about it, it was said that its ability, it's the island guardian of the Melee Island, and Tapu Koko's ability is Electric Surge, which the ability fills the field around it with electricity, and when it appears, raising the power of any electric type move for Pokemon on the ground. So it's sort of like electric terrain, except rather than it being a move that you have to use, it's an ability. Right, because electric terrain is similar to that, sort of like how they have like the fairy version of that or whatever. But yeah, like it's sort of like electric terrain, but in an ability of its own. So yeah, boost electric type moves, since the typing is electric. Electric Fairy, which is cool. Obviously, this has been seen before with Dedenne from 6th Gen, so that is fine. It should be interesting to see what they do with that, and obviously the electric boost does not hurt in any way at all, and that does make things interesting. And also it has on the ground preventing Pokemon from falling. Oh, and also this makes it prevents any Pokemon from falling asleep when this ability is up. So if this ability is going on, hypnosis won't occur. If you're using rest isn't gonna work. So any of that stuff isn't gonna work. So that's good. It's actually really good. It's gonna be a pretty useful Pokemon for sure. So that's exciting, and that's gonna be cool. Next Pokemon that was revealed was the evolution, the evolved form of Grubbin from the last bit of Pokemon that were announced. Grubbin's evolved form, his mid-stage is going to be Charjabug, which Charjabug looks interesting. He looks like a little battery, basically. His typing is Bug Electric, and Charjabug, its ability is Battery, which allows it to raise the power of its allies' special moves. So basically, in other words, this is going to be a Pokemon that if you want to use it with like an Eviolite or something like that, you probably would. And if you do, like, Battery will, it's sort of like Helping Hand, but in this case it like helps with special attack moves. So like a Thunderbolt, it would boost a Thunderbolt of your ally, and you do this in like a double or a triple battle, mainly doubles, because most people tend to do doubles. So that's interesting. But then we have its evolved form, which is Vikavolt. Vikavolt looks awesome. Vikavolt kind of reminds me of Heracross in some ways, except it has like a different kind of where the razor blade like horns are or whatever. They're 2 horns rather than one big one that kind of splits off. So it kind of reminds me of Heracross, only somewhat, but I actually really like it a lot. It looks awesome, and it is a great type. I mean, again, Bug and Electric, that's pretty cool. We haven't really had a Bug and Electric type again. So that's it's good to have that. Vikavolt, yeah, a final form of Grubbin, and it's like and it's described as is like a fortress that zooms through the forest using its huge jaws to control a beam of electricity which it can fire from its mouth. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I do like Vikavolt a lot. I think it's a really cool Pokemon and it should be exciting, and I can see it being really, really cool. Next one is one that a lot of people laugh about because a lot of people consider him kind of ugly looking, and people thought, especially with him, that he looked fake. But he's not. His name is Drampa, like grandpa, like, and he's supposed to be like the grandpa dragon of the generation. He's supposed to have a normal dragon typing. That's a pretty different typing for sure. I'll say this much right now. Cool typing, but interesting one. It says here Drampa are dragons that live alone in mountains 10,000 feet above sea level. So that's interesting. So they're obviously used to a lot of intense pressure. So that's interesting. And then Drampa's ability is our Berserk, and I forget what the other one was. It was Berserk and something else, but the one that was more notable was Berserk because it was a new ability. Berserk, basically what it does is that it's a Pokemon special. What it does is that the special attack stat will go up by 1 when its HP drops below half. So basically, it will raise a stage of special attack if it's below half. Now, it's good, but also one of the things that I've heard and people have been discussing is the idea that it's good in that sense, but it's bad in the sense is that it probably means it's kind of it may not be the strongest Pokemon, like it might be something fairly frail, and so the idea is that it's sort of like if you survive if you get hit pretty hard and it gets below half, then because it looks like it's going to be slow, and that's really the issue. It looks like it's going to be slow, so what that could potentially mean is that it's something where if you can survive 2 hits more likely, then you might be okay. Unless you set up like a trick room setup or something like that, which would probably be pretty ideal. I'm not sure if that's what people are going to be doing, but I kind of see it as a trick room Pokemon in some ways, just because of the fact that if it's going to be slow, like most people are expecting it to be, then that's probably how you're going to have to run it with the trick room team, which is not the worst thing in the world. It is something to note, and that's something that I kind of see it being, like a trick room team Pokemon that probably is pretty powerful, but it probably needs that boost in some ways so that it can take out things, and it probably is really strong but really slow. That's what people are expecting. So then we have Bruxish. Bruxish kind of reminds me of like Pokemon like Sea King and Goldeen, and a lot of the fish Pokemon that you typically look at and you say, oh, that looks cool, but you like almost never use it or whatever. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But its ability is really useful. It has the ability Dazzling, which basically stops priority moves from happening, which is really useful. It's going to help you against like Bullet Punch, Sucker Punch, Quick Attack, because they show like Quick Attack being used by Pikachu and how it stops it and doesn't allow it to go through. Protect, it's probably going to stop, which is going to be really useful. Faint, all those kind of moves that just kind of that have priority. Aqua Jet, any of that stuff is going to be stopped in its tracks and prevented from being actually used, which is going to be really useful, and it's going to be one that a lot of people are going to definitely take advantage of, and I can see it being really powerful. Hopefully it does get an evolution, because if it's just one stage, I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever, but I feel like it really needs more than one stage, because otherwise it's useful but only so much to an extent. Now, could it be good? Yes, but it needs to have some bulk to it, otherwise the ability isn't going to do everything for it, because not everyone relies on priority moves. So that is something to know, because if that's the only advantage it's going to get, then it's going to be kind of a hard one to really judge off of. Then we got Cutiefly. Cutiefly is it looks like a hummingbird or something like that. It's a bug fairy type, and it has I believe it was gather honey and fairy dust, which is fine, and it looks like your traditional bug Pokemon, sort of it kind of has an idea so much like a Combi, I guess you could say, or something like that. Hopefully it gets an evolution, because that thing looks pretty weak, and that's what most people are considering it to look like. It looks pretty weak, but it looks like something that will probably get at least one evolution, which is fine. Wait, what? What are these? These are new. Okay. So then we have Togedemaru. Togedemaru is referred to as the roly-poly Pokemon. Interesting. Roly-poly Pokemon. Okay. It gathers electricity and stores it. And it's supposed to be electric steel typing, which is pretty interesting. I do like that idea. It's supposed to have like iron barbs and I'm forgetting what the other one, the lightning rod, that's what it was. It basically is like this generation's Pikachu clone, which is fine, you know. So 7th gen most likely is going to have Togedemaru, and it's interesting because it's one of those Pokemon that has a very Japanese name, it sounds like, but somehow, surprisingly, that is the name America is also getting, so it is one of those weird cases where they decided, okay, we'll keep it the same across America and Japan, even though typically a lot of names get changed due to translation, but they decided to keep it the same, so that's interesting. There are two that I'm seeing here, which aren't really explained at all. No one has ever seen a Komala. It eats and travels according to the ancient people. There are two Pokemon that I found in this article that were mentioned, and I'm not sure what they are. And it's interesting because they say that there's 9 Pokemon, and there's 2 that are mentioned here. There are tales of these separate from their trainers and then using the painted trace. There are these 2 Pokemon that were mentioned that, you know, weren't even shown in the trailer, but like somehow were found out about, and they're called like Rockruff and Komala. And it's interesting. And we don't know, and we know their typing. One of them is rock, and one of them is normal. Rockruff is obviously rock, and Komala is normal. It says here Rockruff has an excellent sense of smell, and once it has smelled an odor, it doesn't forget. There are tales of these Pokemon getting separated from their trainers, then using the faintest traces of their scent to track them for days until they are reunited. Interesting. I wish I knew what their ability. I wish I knew what its ability is, and if it would be useful, and just in terms of what it looked like, because I really don't remember that one being mentioned. Komala, the other one, no one has ever seen a Komala awake. It eats, travels, and even battles while sound asleep. Okay, so that's interesting. And it's not Neko Koala, so that's interesting. It's normal typing. According to the ancient people, its saliva can be used as medicine for the sick or sleepless. Komala has the comatose ability that keeps it perpetually in a drowsing state, preventing it from getting any other status condition. So why do I feel like it sounds like Neko Koala? It's so weird. Okay. Interesting. So overall, interesting bunch of information. These Pokemon, 9 of them. I thought it was just 7. I guess these 2 maybe were like leaked, but we haven't really actually seen them yet, and maybe we'll see them in the next batch of leaked Pokemon in the next couple of weeks or so. Maybe even the next week, maybe sooner. But that's interesting. I don't know exactly anything for a fact, but that could be cool. I hope that these aren't like just repeats of ones that I've already said or what, because those 2, I have no idea, but like if they're kind of connected to this, they sort of sound like they're probably actual Pokemon, but I don't know for a fact. I don't want to assume anything, but I feel like they probably are legit. It just seems a bit odd. Overall, though, these are exciting Pokemon. I'm looking forward to this game more and more so. I hope that we have a decent-sized generation. I mean, 17 or so now, maybe 18 if you include Magiarna again. Hopefully this generation includes a lot more Pokemon than, say, 6th gen had, since that gen had such a small amount of Pokemon that really were brought in, and a lot of people really wanted a bigger amount of Pokemon in this game. That game, and we didn't really get it, and now it's like we really kind of. It would be really nice to see a nice sized generation of Pokemon. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a pretty good sized game. So hopefully things work out in that way, and we get a good size amount of Pokemon, and we're just getting a good amount now, and then we got a lot more. I mean, we haven't even seen what the Megas are going to look like for this generation. We have no idea. We don't know about any of the Megas, really. So a lot of people are really hoping for some really cool ones and some really nice information in that way, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this video was a little bit longer, but I'd love to know what you guys' opinion is about this. Are you excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon? Are you planning on getting it? Which game are you getting, and why? All that stuff in the comments below. I'd love to know. This game obviously is coming out November 18th, 2016. So not that much further away, guys. We're talking about maybe 5 months now, I believe. No, 4 months, even less. Yeah, about 4 months. A little bit more than 4 months now until the game comes out. So we're not that far away from it. We'll be getting more and more news, I'm sure, as time goes on. We just have to wait and see what we get, and hope and pray that we get some good stuff, and it's a great game. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on the channel Facebook page, as well as on Twitter and Instagram. I post daily pictures on Instagram all the time, and I also am on Twitter and like to converse with everyone all the time. So please leave your comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and bye, guys.